Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahushai, Brakti Yahweh, Brakti Yahweh, Bashim Yahushai, Bashim. Chakudash, that belongs to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there, you Akim to Sadakim that do this thing in the utmost truth and sincerity. On the pre-Shaman, this week's topic is going to be entitled A Place of True Vexation of Spirit. And that's America. As the apostles always bring out the word there for America goes back to Amargo Vespucci, which Amargo means bitter. And this is why the scriptures like Ezekiel 9:4. It's hard if you're a man, serving Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to keep your peace and keep your tongue and hold your spirit in a place like this. This is where we do have the opportunity to put the camera on and vet out frustration, all right? Because this place, America, is truly a vexation of spirit. There's just nothing but abomination, upside down clown world. The scriptures tell you, woe unto them that turn good for evil, evil for good. And that's what the so-called white man has done. Everything is upside down. The shit is frustrated, man. Women being men, men being women. Everything the so-called white man has done to, if you have a spiritual eye into the book of Revelations, the 13th chapter and the 18th verse, you are going to be fucking mad. All right, oppression maketh the wise man mad. Any sort of wisdom, even people in the world, Lord willing, my could let me go. Lord willing, my throat could let me. Even people in the world are putting together podcasts and lessons. You have the Red Pill community, the Manosphere, and you got people like Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, from the political end. You got Tucker Carlson. You got guys like Andrew Tate. All these different figures are just going on and on again about this society is totally fucked up on so many levels and is bound, all right, to implode on itself, man. All right. Chris Rock said in his Netflix documentary, you just go to a neighborhood, you could tell the type of neighborhood you in by who's working or not, right? If you go in a neighborhood, you don't see women working. Typically, it's a wealthy neighborhood. The man's out taking care of the woman, right? But when you go to a neighborhood where you don't see men working, what happens? Destruction, weed selling, drug selling, all types of violence and shit. And guess what? Men don't want to work. The young men don't want to work anymore. They don't want to be laborious or anything like that. The older generation did. But guess what? Their 401k and their pensions are banking that this younger generation would work. They don't want to work. They're feminized. Why? Because all the fucking water they drinking, that they tell you that they're clean and shit with bleach. Well, guess what? It doesn't get rid of the hormones, man. From the birth controls that these women be taking. So that's getting drunken in the water, all right? You got guys right now, yo, man, I'm seeing on a fucking job, man. Dude didn't want to walk a few steps. Motherfuckers are lazy, you know what I mean? Bitching and shit. Calling out every minute. Nobody wants to fucking work. And then that's how the society collapses. And you know what, man? Brakati Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man, because this place gotta fucking go down, man. This place gotta just end. Because the so-called white man, the scriptures tell you for 4 things the earth is disquieted. And one of the things the earth is disquieted for or shaking for is when you have servants bear rule. And the elder shall serve the younger. The so-called white man is a servant, man. I always give this example. If you go into any Fortune 500 company and you go up in the CEO's office where they have the chair meetings and stuff, and you take out the CEOs, you take out the board members, and you say, you know what? Yeah, you, the janitor, you go all the way to the fucking basement in the toilet area, you get a bunch of janitors and custodians and tell them, hey, you run this. See how long that fucking business is gonna last. Because they're not meant to do that. That's not their role. Their job is to come in and clean up and shit. Now look, I'm not putting down people that do shit like that. You gotta, make your money, all right? But you're not meant to run a goddamn Fortune 500 business, right? You see what I'm saying? You're not meant to run a Fortune 500 business. It's the same thing with the so-called white man, because the Most High, Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, laid down the instructions in the form of the Bible of how to govern people, the instruction manual to his planet, which he gave as the order to his son and the holy elect, his holy son and the holy elect to create. This is how you run my planet. You do it like this. everything will be copacetic. The so-called white man has read this manual thoroughly, all right, pursuant to the book of book of Ezekiel. He's wiser than Daniel. He knows this planet inside out. And you know what he has come to said? He said, you know what, fuck the handbook, let's do things my way. Why can't lions breed with ligers and we make ligers? Why can't we have cotton candy grapes? You see what I'm saying? When the instruction manual specifically say don't mix seeds. The instruction manual specifically tells you a man shall not wear a woman's garment, a woman shall not wear a man's garment. A man shall not cut off his privy parts. Two of the same gender shall not lie together. All right? By the way, there's no English, quote-unquote English, saying two women shouldn't lie with another woman, but when it says man, all right, it's talking about mankind. Let's make that specific, because one might say, oh, there's no scriptures on lesbians. It's talking about mankind as a whole, male and female. You're not supposed to do that, right? Romans 1:26, they have natural women. A man and a woman have natural uses. What's the natural uses of a man and a woman? To bring forth child, you know? Sex is pleasure, but the main thing of sex is to bring forth children. That's another thing too. The Lord said, be fruitful and multiply. Now, you got these women in their 30s and 40s trying to have kids in the family after they went chasing their degree. These dumbass idiots, man. Here it is. Time cannot bring back your eggs. Your eggs are finite, you women out there. Time can't bring back your eggs, but time can bring back your degree. You could be 40, 50 years old and get your goddamn degree, if you will, right? But women don't think with any sort of logical reason. But that's besides the point. All right? Everything is upside down. You don't know what's what anymore. You know? Shit is crazy, man. Hey, brothers and send one of them trans benders on the cover of Sports Illustrated looked like a straight up fucking supermodel, man. You could have been like, yo, this is a sports swimsuit model. Like, oh shit, yo, that's a sports swimsuit model. Like a damn sports suit. Nope, it's a man. That was born a man. Well, you know? You see what I mean? Things should not be this way, man. You shouldn't be allowing people to fly overseas and get surgeries and remove ribs and break their jaws and all this type of shit. Yo, man, this shit is sickening, man. And it doesn't just stop there. The children, mutilating kids, 2-year-old transgenders and shit like that, man. This is a constant vexation of spirit. Ezekiel 9:4. This is why we're gonna sigh and cry, because there's a bunch of abominations being done in America, man. Any form of aspects of family, life, the Bible, you know what I mean? Just trying to be an upright person with morals is frowned upon in America, and the more this place goes on, the more rules and regulations they're putting up for you to not have morals upon your children. In fact, so today, that an Islam dude or a Muslim, whatever, no, this Muslim guy was saying it's in Islam, teaching his children at home. Now, you know, you should remain whatever gender you're born. Guess what they did? Child Protective Service came and took this person's child, man. So, not only were you forced to go to a school district, because not everybody can afford to relocate and pick schools. Some people are just stuck where they at. So not only are you forced to take your kid to this public school, all right, that is pro teaching your children and indoctrinating your children to LGBTQ religion, because that's what it is, all right? You can't even go home and say, you know what, no, you know, according to our belief, son, or, look, baby girl, according to our belief, you can't do that. They could possibly take your kids. This is a society we're living in, man. And why aren't people revolting? And why aren't people fighting back? Guess why? Because like I said in the beginning, these men today are all loaded up with estrogen, feminized by design, because a feminine characteristic is more submissive, more agreeable, right? This is how come the serpents go to the woman, right? Because their mind is more malleable and subject to obedience. Scriptures tell you, I know where I can't quite find it, but the Lord had to really wrestle with Nebuchadnezzar's mind. That's a man, you know, man. You know, you have to wrestle with it, like yo, this man is very, you know, very hard to pull one over on a man and fast one over on a man. But now things have changed, you know. And this is why this beast, the serpent, is the most subtle above all beasts, because he's literally destroyed a society, changed the world, made everything all fucked up without even lifting a finger. How did he do it? Prescribed it. Isaiah 10:1. He writes these different acts, because he's not coming with a gun to anybody's head and forcing them to do this, and he's coming up with words like being politically correct, which really is thought policing your own self. Shit is ingenious, really, when you think about it, you know. But he's very crafty. Psalm 64 speaks about these think tanks that they have, these secret council, where they think these things through thoroughly. They have Hollywood executives that are a part of the agenda. So when they put out a particular act, like I'll give you one, encouraging so-called Edomites to adopt Jake babies, all right? Then they're going to come up with a movie called Losing Isaiah. You see? Brother had brought it out. The same time that movie came out was the same time they started pushing that act out. So they'll pass things in legislations and they put it in your favorite movies, all right? Mainly movies geared toward children, all right? Because that's how you change things. You have to work on the younger generation, so when they grow up, they're already with the program, all right? And the so-called white man is an extremely patient devil, man. That's the characteristics of a serpent, you know? A serpent lets the individual wear himself out. So when you have these Black Panther revolts, which they are all psyops, all right? Or any types of BLM or whatever, when you come to find out, guess what? That's also a psyop-controlled opposition. You actually have people that truly might get riled up. Well, let's just wait. Let them burn themselves out. We don't say shit. We don't bring our name to the forefront. Let them burn themselves out. And we'll just slowly keep going about our agenda and our venom. You know, the Bible does not miss a beat, man. He says his poison is like, you know, the poison of that of the hatter, or the poison of a serpent. Why? Because venom doesn't kill you right away, man. In most cases, see, it's not like a lion where a lion bites your ass in the neck and you out of there. That venom could be in you for a while, man. And you got the Komodo dragon. The Komodo dragon has that saliva that pretty much infects its prey. That it don't gotta use all its energy to win the battle. It just bites him, and all it does now is just tracks its prey. Might take a couple days or two till that infection kicks in, it drops dead, then it starts feasting. See, that's how the so-called white man operates. He knows, like, yo, this might not be cool till 30, 40 years from now, but eventually we're gonna have niggas dyeing their hair pink. Eventually, we're gonna do it. We're gonna have niggas dyeing their hair pink, wearing their pants on ass. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it a cool thing. We're not gonna make it a weird thing. We're gonna make it a cool thing. They sat back and said, yo, how can we get these Negroes to put tattoos on their face? And they just got to thinking. Because at that time, that must have been way absurd. You never saw Jake with tattoos. How can we break up the family home? You know, Kevin Samuel, rest in power, all right, said what? In the 50s, blacks, or in slavery, one of the most hardest times for Jakes was the most married amongst all people. Now, hell no. You don't want to marry a nigga woman, you know? But again, that's the so-called white man saying, how can we put black women against black man, you know? Let's make skin color versus skin color. House Negroes, slave Negroes. You know? Creating a stereotypical argumentative nigga woman and putting her as a front and all that. Everything was set up by design by this goddamn devil. Really, again, the Most High working in the minds of them. Proverbs 16:4 tells you that. You know, for his own purpose and everything. But everything you see before you that leads up to this vexation of spirit, society we live in, took place. All over a number of years and was orchestrated by this man, you know? If not, who? If he's not the devil, who? Please tell me, you know? I would like to know. Because who else is doing this shit, man? Walking on fucking concrete that's ripping up your goddamn lower back. Because it doesn't bounce. As soon as you step on it, that energy is not being dissipated into the dirt or mud. Don't you know that now you got people that walk on mud floors to get positive charge particles back in their body from the earth the way the Lord intended it to be? Nope. Don't even get me fucking started on the diet in this place. Oh my God. That's a whole lesson in itself. It's just the sugary oil every second. Look, oil. The scriptures say, you know, oil is good, but not at the extent of that it's being consumed here and everything. This fake ass vegetable oil that's being that oxidizes and really just kills you faster. There's a whole documentary on that. If brothers are interested, get into that documentary, man. The number one thing that I believe changed, they said, the number one food product that pretty much changed everything, and it's that vegetable-based oil, man. You see? Look into these things, and you'll see that the so-called white man did everything in his power to just fucking destroy us, man. You know? You got that. There was another thing too I was thinking about. Even that term hydration. Now people think hydrating yourself, is just drinking water. Do a little research, you can find out just drinking water, and I'm talking about the water here, could have a dehydration effect. Because to hydrate or to put waters in the cells, it needs to be electrically charged with something called electrolytes. These different minerals, alright, like sea salt, or they call chloride. Chloride's a form of, they got salt, sea salt is a form of chloride, right? Potassium. All these different minerals, you know, they're charged. They're like electrically charged. Like your body has electricity in it. If my brain just told my hand to do this, there was an electrical charge sent for me to. Every time you think about doing something, there's electricity being charged from the brain to those particular parts to initiate the motion. See how complex and intricate how the Lord got the body set up? But guess what? All these different electrolytes, you're supposed to get them, and these minerals, from water that's been leaching them from rocks, or fruits and vegetables that's been leaching them from the rocks, from the earth. You can't just go out somewhere and bite into goddamn all these minerals. No. The water leaches them from rocks. Plants leaches them from the earth. You know what the so-called white man has done? He done bleached the fucking waters. All those minerals are cut off. You got people drinking water with no sorts of mineral in it, no benefit in it. And remember, it's a leaching substance, so once it gets in your body, it's leaching out all your minerals. That's how come a lot of people are deficient in magnesium and calcium. You know? You're not supposed to, I'm just drinking water, I'm hydrating myself. No, because now, when you're drinking the water, just keep drinking the water, and you're not replenishing yourself with any electrolytes, you're wasting all those electrolytes, creating that dehydration effect I'm talking about. So if you just take a second to sit down, you could be up for just hours on end, just binging all the different things that the so-called white man has set up in ways to destroy you. And this is why it's called the valley of the shadow of death. One of those things also include chronic stress. This shit is stressful to think about, and stress itself breaks you down. But this place is a fucking vexation of spirit, and this is why the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua is going to destroy it. I'm going to give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua Ba'Shem Chakudash, the blindness to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone True Well. Salutations to the hopeful elect out there. You Akim to Sadakim that do this in the utmost truth and sincerity. Shalom.